everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. If you didn't already, I post every day of the week for all. And today in this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 dishes that are a pain to make for me. Now, these are dishes that I find extremely hard just because they take a while. They don't always work out when I do them. And if you guys know how to make any of these dishes, please comment down below because I really need help. I've tried many times to get these dishes to work, but half the time I do them, none of them work, and I don't have any patience for some of these dishes. And just a quick disclaimer, if you've made any of these dishes before, and you think they're easy, that is okay. We all have different cooking skills. I personally am not really that fancy when it comes to cooking. Sometimes I'm actually kind of lazy when it comes to cooking, but I'm trying my best to make stuff from scratch for cooking. So I'm going to get started. So number one on my list would have to be omelets. Now, I've tried several times to get these dishes to work, and I do like having milk in my eggs because I think it makes them fluffy and taste good, but I accidentally will add a little too much and stuff in my omelet. And anytime I make my omelet, even if I add cooking spray, it just completely gets stuck to the pan and it won't stay together. It doesn't really cook all the way, and I always get confused of how to put the omelet together and it just falls apart. So if you guys know how to make omelets, please help me. I don't know how to do it. I've looked up recipes and a lot of the recipes I've tried don't always work. Number two on my list would be macarons. Now, I've only made these once and I've never wanted to make them again. So the reason why I have a hard time with macarons is because these are like quite a process to put together, because you got to whip the eggs for a really long time. You got to add in the sugar, and then you got to like fold in the dry ingredients, which takes so long because you don't want to like mix it in with a whisk with the air mixer, because that'll be too much air and you don't really want too much air in your macarons. And the hardest part is folding the mixture in, and it takes a really long time. And I have made macarons only like once. I know a lot of people think they're easy, but I am not a pro at making macarons because I literally only made them once, but I never wanted to make them again after because they were just such a process. Number three on my list would have to be brownie ice cream bars. Now, I don't make these all the time, to be honest, because these are quite a process to put together, because I have a hard time cutting them, because I make the brownies and everything the night before, then I stick it in the freezer, put the chocolate ganache on top, stick it back in the freezer all day, and I have to cut them. And I hate cutting these, and I think it's because I don't have a big enough knife to cut them at home. I always use like a thin knife, not really a thin knife, but a knife that's kind of big but not too big. And they literally are such a pain to cut because I have to cut them in rows, and sometimes I have to rush to cut them because I don't want the ice cream to melt. And the knives I use, they're not big enough to cut ice cream because the ice cream is so incredibly hard that I can't get it to cut myself, and it kind of hurts trying to cut them because they are so hard. And I think it's also because of the brownie part, which makes it extra hard for me. Number four on my list would have to be pepperoni pizza bites. So these actually aren't a pain for me to make anymore. They used to be, but when I first started making them, I used to put them all on a pan, but the cheese would explode all over the pan and I'd have just a disastrous mess. But then when I discovered using casserole dishes, if you want to make these pepperoni pizza bites, these are by Laura Vitale. I will leave a link to how to make them in the description. I will leave the link to the video and the recipe down in the description box below. These are not a pain. Like I said, these are not a pain for me to make anymore. When I first started them, I was using just a basic cookie sheet, which I'll show you guys right now. So when I was first using making pepperoni pizza bites, I was baking them in a cookie sheet. Ignore the white spot right here. I don't know what that is. Sorry. But I know it's food. Anyway, I was baking them on a cookie sheet. And as I was doing the cookie sheet, the bites would explode, all the cheese and the bites would go everywhere, and I literally had to scrape them off. I would use vegetable oil and stuff, but the problem was the cheese would explode everywhere and we would barely have any filling inside. So when that happened, I started to switch to using a casserole dish. So this is a weird casserole dish, but this is what I was able to get to in the pot and pan cabinet. So I started putting them in casserole dishes, and it was a lot easier for the filling to stay inside as I made the pepperoni pizza bites. All right, because the good news is when I did that, they weren't going everywhere. The fillings was all staying inside, and they were all kind of baking together, which made it extra fun to eat them because people could pull them apart, which was really, really easy. And I really liked doing it in the casserole dish. And like I said, if you want to see the pepperoni pizza bites video as well as the recipe, I will leave the link in the description box down below. Number 5 on my list would have to be cookie dough cream bites. So cookie dough cream bites is a recipe on Tasty, which I'll also leave a link to in the description box down below, as well as the brownie ice cream bars if you guys want to check those out, and the videos too. So I'll leave all the recipes and the videos in the link in the description box down below. So anyway, those were such a pain for me to make because I literally had trouble cutting the ice cream treats and then getting them in the ice chocolate because I didn't have enough chocolate to coat them, even though I melted like half the bag. I didn't have enough to coat them, and then literally it was such a pain to just get all the bites on the ice cream because I had to go super duper fast because everything was like melting at the time, and it was so hard to just get everything coated in the chocolate, and I had to wait several hours for the cookie dough bites to firm up, and they were just such a pain to make because I had to wait for them to firm. I had to get them. Once I got them firm, I had to cut them, which was also a pain because they were so incredibly hard. Even also the dipping and melting it in the chocolate was also quite a pain to do because those were because they were just so hard, and then it's like half the time I just had to coat them all around with the chocolate, but I didn't have enough chocolate to do it. So I had to drizzle the chocolate over a lot of them because I was running out and I didn't have enough, even though I had a huge bag of chocolate. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe I accidentally overcoated them, but I just literally had trouble getting every single one of them in there, and then I had to stick them back in the freezer for several hours. So those were such a pain because they take a lot of patience. So those are my top 5 dishes that were such a pain for me to make. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day of the week for all, and I'll see you in everybody soon. Bye.